All right, it's time for another haul, this time from a brand that I actually have not purchased from in a very, very long time. You obviously saw a thumbnail, and today I'm bringing you my Viseart order. Viseart was recently having a big sale where I think everything was between like 30 and 50% off. So I had zero intentions of ordering anything from the sale. I have dabbled a little bit into Viseart. I've had pretty good luck with some of the things. I will get into that in a little bit, but I just was not drawn to the sale at all. I had zero intentions until I started talking to a few people, especially Melody. If you are watching this, it's really, I'm not going to blame this on you, but you definitely inspired me to take a second look at the sale. So Melody was telling me that she had ordered one of the large palettes to really be able to use in combination with her single shadows and to kind of like fill in some gaps in her matte shadow life. And I was like, oh, okay, I really would like to have some more matte singles. I don't have a lot of matte singles in my collection. You guys know probably that most of the mattes that I have are Divina, followed closely by Makeup Geek. And so I wanted to have some especially that would be possibly currently available when I do my build your own palettes, when I'm, you know, working with my singles. So I was like, oh, maybe I should take it a second look. And by the way, I will have all of Melody's social deeds down below if you would like to follow her. I know she just recently started a YouTube channel. She does have an Instagram account. She's a super busy mom. So, you know, like I know that this whole like content creator world, sometimes there just isn't enough time for all the things, but I do really love hearing her thoughts on all the makeup. So I will have her linked down below. But anyway, I was like, yeah, that's a really good idea. So I thought I would pick up a few palettes with the intention of mostly being able to use them as singles. So I'm going to show you what I got and kind of what I was thinking. So we're gonna get into this. And by the way, I did only pick up the actual palettes. Viseart does have the option of getting their single pans, but because I did get more of the petite palettes that have the smaller pans, it was a better deal versus like a larger shadow. And since all of the palettes that I got, I believe were like 40 or 50% off, I was like, yeah, this is a much better deal. I don't need huge pans, and I'm really excited, and I hope that these really work out for me. But anyway, so the first one that I got is the Petite Matte Palette. And by the way, I have not swatched any of these palettes yet. I will be putting in some B-roll footage so that you can see the swatches of these palettes. I am going to use these on my eyes for a look today, which is why I have a less than complete face. So this is definitely some deeper, grungier tones, but you know, even some more of those like jewel tones. Like, of course, you know me, I immediately was like, ooh, I love this little like pumpkin shade. You have this beautiful like warm orangey red. We've got some nice navy blues, some greens. I totally thought like this will be perfect going into fall and those times that I need like those deepening mattes. I'm a little bit bummed because the pans don't actually have the names on the back. I thought that they might. I went ahead and got them once I figured out that they didn't anyway. They are on the back of the sleeve, but not on the palette itself. So the nice thing about this is it's just a sleeve. It's really pretty easy to keep. So I don't know, if there's some free time in my life, I might go ahead and try to make labels for these. Truly knowing myself, I'm not sure that I would do that, but they are listed on the back, and I like how they have it printed in like color coding as to where they lie in the palette. So I will be able to pop these out, use them as singles. So anyway, that is the dark palette, the Petite Matte Dark. So if you are not familiar with Viseart, it is a brand that, you know, really started out as a professional makeup brand and something, you know, that a lot of artists that I know had in their kits. And then as the brand sort of grew, they really started opening up to more of your like average consumer, including these smaller petite palettes, which I think is great because especially for like makeup lovers, eyeshadow enthusiasts who have a lot of palettes, you really don't need the big sizes. So something like this. This was my first Viseart palette. This is the Viseart Neutral Matte palette. So definitely more of a utilitarian packaging there, which, you know, for professionals, for me as a professional makeup artist, the most important thing is that it's sturdy and that I can see what I'm going to be working with. And I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the Viseart as we get into this, but I just wanted you to kind of be able to see what I got in my haul first. Now, the next palette that I got is on the other side of the spectrum. This is the Petite Matte Brights. So I'm obviously drawn to these beautiful bright tones, but I was like, okay, you really don't need this because I have the Blend Bunny Blends palette. However, the Blends palette is so big, whereas this is so nice and small and petite. And the first thing I think is like, oh, well, you can throw that in your kit. And it's like, okay, but really how often am I needing super bright rainbow makeup? Not all that often. I mean, most of the time I'm doing special occasion or bridal makeup. These aren't highly requested looks, but if I do want them, it's so easy to throw this in. And for me, like if I'm working on myself with a bunch of different single shadows and I need to pull in some mattes, this is a nice compact way to like be able to do that as opposed to my Blend Bunny blends. I will be curious though. I will definitely be using these and kind of like comparing formula wise to the blends palette, because you know that I love that Blend Bunny formula. So I will be updating you in the future once I dig into this a little bit more, but I do like that this has a white, so you're really able to sheer things out. You could make them a bit more pastel, also just have that really nice bright pop, like if you're gonna use it as an inner corner or a brow bone. So I'm really excited to use this one as well, and I think it will come in handy when I do those build your own palette videos. And then the last one that I got is the Soleil de Plage. I hope that's right. This one I remember seeing when it came out, and I thought that this is such a beautiful, summery, beachy color story. I know that this palette has mixed reviews, but I thought that this was a good addition, and I thought that this for me was a good way to dip my toes back into the Viseart shimmer formula, which I'm going to talk to you about in a moment. But this, you know, it just has that nice like sandy beach vibe with, of course, a couple pops. You have, I would say this is more of like a lemon cream. It's honestly not quite as bright as what I was thinking it was going to be, but you have a beautiful coral, a little like what looks to be almost like a translucent teal. So I think this will be a nice way to kind of get back into that. So I, again, mostly was wanting to add some mattes to my collection because I have this. So, you know, looking at this one, I probably have similar, oh, actually, you know what? I think this isn't too bad. The only one that I think is going to be, okay, like I feel like, honestly, these two shades here, this one in the corner and then this like mid-tone matte right there, those are probably shades similar to what I have in here, but that dark brown is a different tone. So, you know, I guess it's not too bad. Two of these shades out of all of them being something that I have in another palette here, that's not too bad, especially like I said, for getting it at a really good discount. So that's going to be kind of what we're working with today. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a history with my thoughts on Viseart. So I have purchased a couple different palettes. This was the first one that I had ever gotten a chance to use. It's actually not the first one that I purchased. I should talk about that. So I purchased, I think this, oh gosh, it might have actually been this palette. I think I did try to purchase this actual palette from Sephora many moons ago. They had it at a discount. I think it was like 40 or 50% off on Sephora, and I ordered it and it came to me completely busted, like busted. And so I talked to Sephora, I sent it back, and they sent me another one and it was busted again. And I'm like, okay, now I'm really worried because I was totally getting this to keep in my makeup artist kit. And I'm like, if this is that sensitive of a shadow formula, is this even something that I'm going to be wanting? So in all honesty, I just returned it because I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. So then I ended up seeing this on the BoxyCharm pop-up or something like that for like really inexpensive, more than 50% off, I'm sure. I think they were like $20 or something like that. So I did pick this one up and I thought, well, okay, we'll see how it comes. If it comes and it's completely busted, hopefully BoxyCharm will make it right again, but this is gonna be my last time, and it came fine. So I don't really know. I don't know if it was Sephora's shipping. I felt like it was pretty well packaged back then. I mean, truly, this was probably at least 5 to 7 years ago that I gave it its chance, but this one came to me safely. I have put it in my kit when I'm going on location and it's been no problem. So that is the case with these mattes. Do I think that they're nice? Yes. I really want to use some of these other palettes today to really like get another opinion on how I feel about them. So I'm gonna hold off on that. We're gonna see how we feel when we use these today. Now the other palette that I got was one of those little, it was like a little 8-pan, like a little guy, but of course it was in like a peachy rose goldy color story, and I picked it up at Sephora. I tried it once and it was just, the shimmers aren't super high impact, and the rest of the tones, there just wasn't enough kick in the pants for me. And so I was like, ugh, for getting this like at full price, it just it just didn't wow me. And I actually, to be honest, I ended up returning it because I was like, I just don't see myself ever grabbing this. So I'm giving them another chance today. I am giving them another chance. So again, that was sort of my reasoning in picking up this one, because at 50% off, it was a really good deal. I felt like I could try the shimmer formula again. If I want to, I'll pull in some deeper tones from that dark matte palette. We'll see what we end up with. All right, so that is what I got from the sale. That is my history with trying this brand. We're gonna jump into an eye look and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. Am I glad that I picked these up? Do I feel any different about the formulas? Do I regret purchasing, or am I glad to have these in my collection? We'll see, let's get into it. Okay, so first off, you're welcome for the world's worst swatches. Those were the worst swatches. So I will say the small pans, which in the Viseart Petite Pro, they're pretty tiny. They're a little hard to get into with nails to like swatch. And I will say also that I feel like Viseart matte shadows, well, Viseart shadows just don't swatch that well. And to be honest, some of my favorite formulas don't swatch that well. Like I love Divina mattes, and I don't think that they swatch that well unless you really do like multiple passes, pack it on, and I just don't think that that's like a realistic swatch to me. It looks beautiful on Instagram if you do like the sexy, super saturated swatch. But, you know, in a regular finger swatch, like in a live, like just one swipe, I just don't think that they do as well because of the formula, but that doesn't mean that they don't perform well on the eyes. I actually love them on the eyes. So I've talked about that before. I'm not going to go into that too much, but just know that swatches don't always mean bad performance, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to put the hair back. I would also like to say that just off of the swatches, like I said, swatches sometimes lie, but I have a feeling that these shimmers are going to be shimmers with a lowercase s, which bums me out a little bit, but it's kind of what I anticipated. And that's why I bought these on the sale. We're mostly going to stay within the Soleil palette just because I just want something kind of like simple. And by the way, I'm about to film a top blushes for spring and summer, like all my favorite picks for blushes this season. I have one of them on my face right now. This is the Kiko Milano blush in Athena Strategy. It's from the Wonder Woman collection. I love this blush. So I'm having such a blush moment that I want my eyes like a little bit less. But if you do want to see all of the picks for my spring and summer blushes, that video will already be up by now, so I will make sure to have it linked down below. I am excited to be doing my first collab with Colin from Queer Bones, so you can also check out their video as well. That one I am excited to film. All right, so since this is the Soleil La Plage palette, we might as well go in with Plage. So I'm just going to take this. Wow, I really need to clean this mirror off, y'all. It is very, very dirty. Holy smokes. Okay, it has got like, I think it's like setting spray speckles on it, but I'm just gonna take this as like a transition shade. All right, I don't know if it's been a little while since I've like done my makeup on camera or something, but A, I just realized I didn't have you zoomed in all the way, and B, I didn't have any like primer or concealer on my eyelid, so I'm going to take care of that right now, and we'll get back to the business. I had popped a little bit of a concealer on my under eye, and it's one that I'm honestly trying to decide if I want to keep. And so I didn't put it on my eyelid because it's not one that I've used a lot. And so I wanted to make sure that I was using something on my eyelid that I know and like as a like lid prep. So then I just completely forgot, but that's okay. We only got as far as a transition shade. So I just wanted something to, you know, give a little bit of a base for the shimmers, especially since they do seem a little bit sheer and I have so much discoloration on my eyelid that I didn't want that to be shining through. Okay, so now I'm gonna take that same brush that I had Plage on, and now we're gonna dip into Raffia. So just gonna deepen that crease up a little bit. You know what? I think I'm gonna take a little bit of that on the inner and outer corner just to do an incredibly soft halo eye, because then I can use the shimmer on a brush and then I can also use it with my finger just to see how I feel about the impact. Now I'm just gonna take like a flat shader brush. Which shade do I want to use here? Let's go ahead and go through with Cove. It's just like the nice like beigey pinky sand shade. I'm definitely gonna wet this just because, you know, that always gives us our best chance at pigmentation and like foiliness with a shimmer. So I'm going to pop that on the center here. And I'm just kind of like doing a bit of like a triangle, really. All right, I mean, I think it looks fine. Like, it definitely is not, I mean, you guys know, like, as far as, you know, a standard shimmer formula, something that isn't like, doesn't have a bunch of sparkle to it, it's not really shifty, it's not like a duo or a multi-chrome, definitely the Sydney Grace formula is my all-time favorite. I mean, there are several that I like, but that's definitely what I would say is my all-time favorite. These feel, they feel good. They feel soft. I'm just going to take my finger and see if I can like build up a little bit of that on the center. I don't know. I almost feel like that's less impactful than using a wet brush. Okay. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate it, but if I had bought this palette looking for incredibly impactful shimmers, I would probably be disappointed. Again, I mostly, A, just bought this as an experiment, and B, wanted a couple of these other shades in mattes. So now we're gonna take that shade C. That's that little, like, it looks to be like a slightly duochrome iridescent teal, and I'm gonna use this on the inner corner. I'm just using it on a dry brush first. I had no intention of doing that much of an inner corner, but I just got carried away. All right, so that is dry. I'm going to add a little bit to this side wet. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, Viseart. I mean, this is definitely more of an inner corner or a topper shade for sure, but I mean, look at that. The only thing is it still does have like a translucent base, so I think you're really gonna like it best topped over something. And in this palette, like if you're using it on the lid, in this palette, I don't know what I would top it over. Like, I mean, I guess you could use it over one of the beigey shades. If you put it over the yellow though, it's gonna, you know, probably look a little bit more teal. Okay, I really like this. I like this. I think that the inner corner totally like sold it for me. The only thing is I was going to put some blue on the lower lash line, but now I feel like, ooh, is that going to be like too much for a soft look? All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a little bit of the teal. I kind of want to do the blue, but this is so much brighter, like just in the swatches. This one is like a little bit more hazy. So I'm just going to work that onto the lash line for a little bit of color. I decided to just work a little bit of that teal color on the outside, and then I think I'm gonna take this light like lemon cream shade. I've just kind of like wiped this brush off on my Katie Jane Hughes like makeup brush towel, and I'm just going to try to like pack a little bit of this yellow on. Okay, so that yellow is, you know, a very, very soft color. I will say I feel like it got a little bit greeny. I started, like I said, I was using that same pencil brush and it was not clean enough. Let's just say that. So I feel like this is like, it's got like a little bit of a green hue to it, which is fine. It's fine. That shade is not as like, as I would like it to be. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I could take out the yellow in the Brights palette. Maybe we should try that. Why not? Let's just play here. Okay, so I'm taking a little bit of the yellow from that Brights palette. I definitely got a little bit of fallout from that lid shimmer, which I think was more so from my finger, but I did feel like even with it dampened that I got a little bit, I could feel it like falling. I could feel it falling as I was like putting it on with the brush. So that is the final look. I really like this. I feel like I need a little bit of upper liner just to balance out the weight on the bottom. And I kind of want to put a little like yellow on my lower lash line now. I mean, I feel like I've gone this far, I might as well just keep going with it. So much for the simple eye look. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna line a little yellow in my waterline and maybe like a dark brown on the top, and then lots of mascara, and I'll be right back. All right, here we have our finished look. I decided to go through with, if I can find it, the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner in Screamin' on the waterline, and a little bit of crooked winged eyeliner on the top. I went through with the Haus Labs liquid liner. This is the brown one. Which one is this one? Whiskey. So I was struggling a little bit with the liner, like the felt tip. I am so used to a brush tip. The felt tip, the softness of the felt tip and the softness of my outer eyelid skin. So we got close. They are definitely sisters. They are definitely sisters, but they sure as hell aren't twins. But I really do like this look. I think that this is sort of like it's the mullet of eyeshadow, right? We've got business on the top, party on the bottom, and then we've got like hella disco raver on the inner corner. I'm gonna go with that. All right, let's go ahead and zoom out. I have a lot of thoughts on these Viseart shadows and how I feel about my purchase. All right, lovelies, let's have a chat, shall we? So let's start off. Now, obviously, I only dipped into one palette other than the Soleil de Plage. So most of my thoughts are going to be on this guy right here. Okay. It's about exactly what I thought it was going to be. The shimmers are fairly basic, easy to use, but not something I will reach for if I'm looking for like crazy high impact. However, do I see taking this on a little like weekend getaway, something where I just need quick, easy makeup? Yeah, sure. This could totally work for that. No problem. Now, the one bummer that I did realize when I bought these is that this pan size is bigger than this pan size. So obviously I can mix and match these two in this palette, but not really with this one. And I don't even think, yeah, this is a whole different pan size than this one. So this is going to stay as is. Obviously, I can pop some of these out and put them in a magnetic palette if I wanted to do so, which, like I said, for like my build your own palette videos, I would consider doing that. These two, though, I think will be fun to kind of like intermix if I want to. And the shadows do come out very easily out of all three of these palettes, I will say. That is so nice because sometimes, even if a palette is magnetic, you like have to still sort of perform delicate surgery to get the pans out. I do wish they were labeled on the back. I really do wish that. I'll of course be keeping the sleeves on all these. You know, I don't usually keep outer packaging, but these sleeves are so nice. I wish that this was a sleeve as well, because I guess I could just like rip this end off and then it would be a sleeve, right? I guess I could do that. I might actually do that just so that it's easy to slide in and out, because if I am going to use this in BYOPs, I do think that I need to know which shades they are, because you are able to get a lot of the shades that are within these palettes as single shadows. And by the way, these Petite Pros are also available as like the full-size Pro Pan if you do decide that you love rainbow palettes so much that you want the Brights palette in like a larger pan size. I'm excited to have these small pan sizes though. So let's go ahead and break it down by price. This Soleil de Plage was $22 for this with the sale. For 22 bucks, I'm not disappointed. I think this will be a very easy, quick grab and go. I was highly impressed with this shade right here. Like, I think I have a Copacetic Cosmetics shade that's very similar to this. I think it's the Kitty shade. I have a couple other like indie brand duochrome, translucent, iridescent shades that are very similar to this. So, you know, just having that, this one has, from the swatches, it looks like it's going to have some nice impact. This is just going to be a very quick grab and go summer palette for me. I'm not really disappointed that I have it. It's about what I expected. For 22 bucks, I'm feeling pretty happy with that. The other two, let's see, both of these were $24. Obviously, I haven't used these a ton yet, so I'll have to give you my thoughts on those in the future, but I did kind of have an idea with this Brights palette. Would you be interested in me doing a comparison video between the Blend Bunny Blends palette and this one? I thought maybe I could do a little eye look, like maybe like a side-by-side. We could see the formula difference, all of that. If you're curious about the difference in those formulas, let me know. I just thought maybe that would be kind of fun. Maybe even just like a little Instagram reel or something. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm already curious myself just to see what the difference is between the formulas. Can I also just say I have somewhere on my face, there is a hair. It must be, oh, did I get it? Okay, I don't know. But somewhere on my face, there is a hair that I just can't find. I feel like it must have come off of like one of the eye brushes or something, but it's driving me up the wall. So I've been sitting here feeling like I have some hair showing. So if I do, I apologize, but I just gotta keep on going. Total side note. Hope you enjoyed that. So all in all, I am excited to have these palettes. I obviously have to play with them a little bit more. I like the look that I created. I think it's very beachy, very summery. So you'll have to let me know your thoughts on Viseart. Are you a big fan? Do you like the shimmers? Are you like, hey, I love a good easy shimmer formula? Are you like, yeah, Kelly, I really agree. I could use a little more shim in my shimmers from this brand. So I'd be curious to know your thoughts. If you have a palette from Viseart that you truly love and you're like, oh, you missed out for not buying that one during the sale, let me know, because we know that that these brands have sales all the time. And I will say, I feel like every brand is starting to have more and more sales. So if you are interested in one of these color stories, hold out for a sale. I feel like whether it's on a brand site or whether it's on a site like Sephora, Camera Ready, you're always able to at least get like a 15% off discount. That's what I'm here for. Save a little money on the makeup, especially makeup that I had no intentions of buying. So no regrets here. I think these are going to be a good addition to my life, and you'll have to let me know if you got any to be an addition to yours. That's going to be it for today, lovelies. Again, if you did want to see all of my favorite spring and summer blushes, that video will be linked down below. I'm excited for warm weather makeup. Here we come. Thanks. I really do appreciate you taking some time out of your day to spend it here with me. It really does mean so much, and I will see you really soon.